Hi, my name's Ella Perry, and I'm going to be presenting what I learned about Hamilton. All right, so the first slide is kind of the background of Hamilton. The author, composer, and the lead actor is Lin-Manuel Miranda. So the inspiration began in 2009 when Miranda was asked to participate in a play about the American experience. So he actually received this call from the White House, and so they put this play on. He was so inspired by it, and he really sat on it, sat in this idea of the American experience and what it was. He later went on to write the musical Hamilton, and it was performed on August 6th, 2015 on Broadway. And so he was the lead star for this. So what led up to him writing the musical was he really started to do his research about the American experience. And he was actually with his now wife in Mexico. And it said in this article that he was sitting in the pool with his wife and they were talking about it. And then he just came up with this idea like, oh, what if I create a different type of musical with the rap and the different type of music that's just set apart from everything else. And so he ended up doing this. But his inspiration, so he comes from an immigrant family from Puerto Rico. And so he really felt a connection with Alexander Hamilton because he too was from this family who wasn't really put together. And Alexander Hamilton, like, he had this stubbornness, but he was so passionate. And so he really connected with that, which led him to write this musical, which is now amazing and just a hit. And oh, that was a picture of Miranda. This is Alexander Hamilton. He was born out of wedlock. His mother was married to another man, actually. So she was convicted of adultery by her current or her husband at the time. And she did end up dying 2 years later. And so he did become an orphan. So this is a really correct foundation for him, but this is what pushed him to be the person he became. He was involved in the Revolutionary War. He was really on the front lines, but also behind the scenes, which I'll go in more in depth on the next slide. He ended up marrying Elizabeth Scholler. That is not right. I'm so sorry. But this is the character Eliza in the musical. They did have 8 children together throughout their marriage. And the oldest, his name is Philip. I think he was around 17. He ended up dying on behalf of his father's name in a duel against another man because the other man was talking poorly about his father, which is honestly really powerful. The beginning of the musical, so the first song is obviously Alexander Hamilton, which just sets like it's a setting stone for the whole musical because it introduces him as a character and who he is. In the first line, it basically goes right into it, calls him like a bastard son, and you're like, whoa, but that's who he was, and that was his identity. So on the battlefield, this is where he first met General Washington, which did end up helping him in the future. It made him like make so many connections, which boosted his career. He discovered his skills for writing and tactics, which he used in the war. When I said he was kind of behind the scenes, this was more of his skills behind the scenes. He came up with some war tactics that helped them fight off the British, and he was really honored for this. And so I picked the song Right Hand Man because Washington and Hamilton were truly never friends, and he didn't voluntarily become his right hand man. But Washington said, "Rise up, here," and then it says, "Here comes General and his right hand man," meaning Hamilton. So since they weren't ever friends, like the relationship was kind of weird and unsettling. But they did have a good professional relationship together, which both helped them succeed. In the next slide, what did Hamilton accomplish? After the Revolutionary War, he became the first Secretary and Treasurer of the United States, which led him to create the first national bank, which is what we use today. So it's really amazing that he made that. And this is one of his first successes. I just highlighted these two because these are the, in my opinion, the most important. He ended up writing the U.S. Constitution, and wrote many different Federalist Papers, which has helped aid the United States and our freedom and just kind of organize it. So the song I picked to go along with this from the musical is Nonstop, and this is when Burr and Hamilton are speaking with each other, and Hamilton presents the idea of the Constitution. And so he says, a series of essays anonymously published defending the document to the public. And then Burr answers, no one will read it. And he said, I disagree. And if it fails, Burr, that's why we need the Constitution's a mess. The Constitution's a mess, so it needs amendments. It's full of contradictions, so is independence. We have to start somewhere. And so that was honestly really powerful because he was defending himself. He truly believed in himself and himself. Um, and he knew what he was doing was going to be right. Although he did accomplish many things, and did aid the United States in what it is today, he did take a turn for the worse. Like his mother, he did cheat on his wife, and he was called out by Burr, which was his friend, sort of. His the most unsettling part of his adultery is his wife stood by him the whole time, and they had 8 children together. She always, like, pushed him to do better, and, there was a song, I think it's, "This Can Be All," or I don't think that's right, but it was them singing together about their marriage and how it was gonna work and how he was gonna succeed, and that was really emotional and powerful, but then this all happened. So it's just kind of unsettling. So in the end, Burr and Alexander end up dueling, and Burr does kill him. But in the song "Obedient Servant," Burr calls him out for the cheating, and he says, "Answer for the accusations I lay at your feet, or prepare to bleed, good man." So basically, he was saying, um, like, I'm recording something. I'm so sorry. I live in a sorority house. Um, but anyways, he was just he was coming to Hamilton like saying, answer your accusations, like tell your truth. But Hamilton refused, so they dueled and he ended up dying. But I thought this musical was really powerful. And really good, and it's more modern, so it's kind of easier to like I feel like relate with like the music type. I'm not a huge musical person, but I do love Phantom of the Opera, which is so random, but it was really awesome to dive deeper into this. And I love history. So getting to like I didn't know a lot of these things about Hamilton, just getting to know it was really awesome. But I did really enjoy this project. Now I need to stop recording.